Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. It's time for the bulk comics review this week. So all of the comic books that I read the entire week, including a few that I didn't give individual reviews to. Let's start off with, we got to start off with the first one that I did. A lot of people saying do Marvel and then DC and then the other ones. That's not as easy as you might think it is. It seems that way, but especially when there are comic books that I haven't reviewed yet and some of them are Marvel, some are DC's. Not the easiest thing in the world. So anyway, we got Powers of 10, issue number 5 of 6. There are only 2 more to go. This was amazing, as should be expected. Sinister was not in here. Spoilers, but go and check out that review. Half an hour, spoiler-rich, in-detail review. Oh, hells to the yes. I didn't do that many spoilers for Harleen, but my God, man. I mean, like, this is Stefan Sajic. I don't think this is the first time he's writing, but it's the first time for DC that he's doing it, and this is just absolutely amazing. Anything that I open up in here is just absolutely amazing art. I mean, my God, man, this guy is just, he's one of the absolute hands-down best artists out there. I would say that after seeing him do an entire book like this, knowing he's going to be doing a bunch more books like this, he did this great work on Aquaman. That's probably one of the reasons why a lot of people are sleeping on Stefan Sajic. If y'all go and look at that Aquaman run that he did, he only did the art for it. He didn't do the writing. But man, if you go and check out that run just recently on Rebirth, forget about it. This guy, like he got on my radar immediately with that. And then some of the other work he does, follow him, the stuff that, forget about it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people think, what's his name? Art Germ is amazing. Oh yeah, Art Germ does amazing covers. He does amazing covers. Yeah, Stefan Sajic did this cover too. Look how beautiful that cover is. Take away the mask. What do you see? Is she smiling? No, she's not. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous, amazing book. And I'm telling you, like, Stefan Sajic may be my favorite artist right now. We got Batman Curse of the White Knight. I'm kind of disappointed not a lot of people are checking out those reviews. I got like barely 400 reviews, or excuse me, views on that. I mean, this is an amazing book series, my peeps. Come on now. We've got Action Comics issue number 1015. Naomi's in here, does a bunch of stuff. This was a pretty fun issue. You know, so I got an individual review out for that, where I talk about my 5 things about these comic books. But that was actually a really good book, a whole lot better than the Superman book. Speaking of, we got Batman Superman issue number 2. Shazam, bitch! Like, that's what he says in this, and such a great moment, absolutely amazing moment. We've got Absolute Carnage, Miles Morales issue number 2. This is not the best series in the world. The art is out of this world crazy good. Forget about it. Don't even get me started on that. The art is out of this world. But as far as the story is concerned, there is a story there. Probably didn't have to be 3 issues long. I'm thinking that's just Marvel telling Ahmed Saladin that's what he's got. Saladin Ahmed, excuse me, that's what he's got to do, but it is what it is. More on the Absolute Carnage, more of a tie-in as opposed to a generated book. We've got Amazing Spider-Man issue number 30. Really good. Like, and I believe I even mentioned this in my not a spoiler review, in my review where I talked about 5 things about this comic book. This is a jumping on point for Spider-Man, period. If you haven't been reading Spider-Man in the past, I don't know, 5 years or so, pick up this book, issue number 30 of The Amazing Spider-Man, Absolute Carnage tie-in. Pick up this book. This is a tie-in for the past 5 years or so. You're golden with this one. Jump right into the Spider-Man world. We've got Amazing Spider-Man. I did the Immortal variant cover also. Sorry, got that up in here. 1012, right? Where's the damn thing? There it is. Yep, issue number 1012 of Detective Comics. This is an amazing book. We finally start getting the Mr. Freeze story. We start seeing some more stuff that may be coming up. Dude, Peter J. Tomasi, this guy, I don't know why, like, people who are onto him, they know what this guy does, and we're all a part of the cult of Tomasi. But I mean, this dude, I don't know how he flies under the radar with so many people. This is an amazing, amazing Batman book, you know, Detective Comics. Forget about it. Issue number 2 of Ghost Spider. This is a great series. I hope that there are people seriously following this, man. This is an amazing series. Shannon McGuire, oh, she got this. Got this. The Superior Spider-Man issue number 11. This was my least favorite issue. I wouldn't say I didn't like it, but I didn't like it nearly as much as the other ones. And granted, it is a high bar, but this was like a sub-average book to begin with, or sub-average issue to begin with, as far as Superior Spider-Man is concerned. The ending, I'm not happy with where it seems to be going. I'm hoping that the book continues. We'll see. We'll have to see. Okay, I've got 2 covers for this. Strike Force. This was not a very positive review at all. There's the Immortal variant cover. This is not a very positive review at all. Yeah, Teenie Howard. I have, looking back on some of the work that she's done and books of hers that I've reviewed, I've realized a pattern. I really don't like her work. It doesn't mean that she's bad. Don't get me wrong. Like, this isn't me trying to bash her. And I've got to say this again, because this might be the first video of mine that somebody's watching. Me saying I don't like something is not permission for somebody to go on my channel and start making comments like, oh, she's trash. I despise that kind of language, like, especially when it comes down to attacking a writer, an artist, something along those lines. I can't stand that nonsense. I'll boot you right off my channel, because I just don't want that kind of negativity on my channel. There are plenty of those sites out there, plenty of those channels out there. They're usually Comic Skates channels, all right? You'll find plenty of other channels out there where you can do that and your words will be celebrated. Doing it here is just, you're being a troll, you're asking me to boot you. So, yeah, it's annoying. Anyway, Shazam issue number 7. I realize it's been 3 months since the previous issue came out. I know that only because after I did the review, when I go to post my reviews, I make sure I put a link in the description and, in the back of the video, so that you can see the previous issue. So I actually have to go to that video. And I go and I look at it, I'm like, wow, it's been 3 months since since issue 6 came out. And I didn't even realize it. The book is, like, this is one of those things where the book isn't nearly as deep. It's Jeff Johns. He runs into delay issues. I don't know why. I don't even care why at this point. That's just Jeff Johns right now. The guy's got way too much on his plate. Dude's making money, but he's not pulling a, what's his name, a John Romita Jr. and lessening his work every single time he puts out a new piece of work. He still puts out amazing work, so it may be delayed, but it's still out of this world. You know what I'm saying? It's still that top shelf stuff up there. So, but the thing is that unlike Doomsday Clock, which is also still amazing, it's so detailed that you wind up forgetting the stuff that happened in the previous issue, God forbid in the first issue. I honestly don't remember what happened in the first issue of Doomsday Clock, but with Shazam, it's such a simple read, and yet still so much quality packed into it that, again, I forget that it's 3 months delayed. It doesn't mean anything to me. All right, let's get talking about the Avengers, issue number 24. I got the variant cover here. The best thing about this book was the variant cover and Cosmic Ghost Rider in it. If you're not a fan of Cosmic Ghost Rider, there is no reason for you to get this book, because the whole book, it's just getting so wacky, wonky. It's not your typical comic book goodness. It's just really weird, like exceptionally weird. Let's get talking about the Flash issue number 79. This was another fantastic Flash book. I don't look at other people's reviews. I don't even look to see if other people do reviews of the Flash. I'm assuming there's got to be a lot of people doing reviews from Flash, because if I'm only getting like, what, 200, I think only like 200 views on this, I guess not a lot of people are into Flash, which is odd to me because it's a huge thing. Or maybe people just like other people's Flash reviews better than mine. If that's the case, cool, cool. Let me know. Maybe I'll go and check to see what they're doing. Maybe they're just bigger Flash fans than I am. I don't know. Maybe people are just upset because Wally isn't in it, which I understand, but is what it is. If Flash number 79 came out, that means Wonder Woman 79 came out too. I went with the Jenny Frison variant cover because it's amazing. This is a good book, but it's wonky. It's everything about the book is amazing concept after amazing concept that is never fully fleshed out and therefore never fully realized. And it's like, at the end of the book, I just feel left out and wanting. And if I wasn't doing so many comic book reviews, I'd probably start doing Wonder Woman fan fiction based on this, but just flesh it out a whole lot more, because it's, like I said, man, G. Willow Wilson, she has some amazing concepts. I just need to see her actually flesh them out. Another variant cover. What is this, issue 12? No, issue 15. Justice League Dark, issue number 15. Can't stand apes, monkeys, any of them in my freaking comic books, and yet somehow James Tynion IV, dude, made me fall in love with this stupid monkey. God, I hate loving Detective Chimp so much. But plus he smokes, and I can't stand seeing cigarette smoke coming out of people's mouths or nostrils and whatnot. It happens in here. I'm just like, whatever, at least I'm not smelling it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just averse to cigarettes. It is what it is. But like this dude, like somehow Tynion makes me love this character. He's a good character. And you know what? Like Tynion's jumping on the Batman book after Tom King leaves. Again, don't need any personal attacks on the guy. But Tynion's going to be on this book. I'm positive that he's going to wind up making an amazing Batman book. I just hope he doesn't prove me wrong. But he'd have to be really trying. He'd really have to be trying to prove me wrong. But anyway, this Justice League Dark, another typical good book. I've been saying it for a long time. It's the best book that you're not reading, and that's a shame. The only person you're affecting is yourself. Okay, issue number 1 of Transformers Galaxies. It's the Constructicons. It's Devastator. They give an origin for Devastator, the first steps of Devastator, so to speak. And currently, apparently, they can't form Devastator. So it's like a past and present book. And it's all over the place. And it's relying too heavily on the stuff that IDW has done in the past. And since they said that this was going to be a reboot, and it's clearly nothing even in the ballpark, it's not even the same city that the ballpark is in, of a reboot. It's not even close to a reboot. So that bothers me a lot, and I can't read it. I genuinely, I could not enjoy this book. There were a couple parts that were cool, but I actually could not enjoy the book. That kills me. A book that I did enjoy, Ragnarok, The Breaking of Helheim. This is volume 3. This should be volume 3 of Ragnarok. This is issue number 2. It's been 2 months since the previous issue came out. Walter Simonson is someone I will wait for. He does all the art. He does all the writing in this book. Laura Martin does the colors. She's been coloring for Walter Simonson for a while now. It is Martin, right? Yes, and I think John Workman does the letters. But man, really, really amazing story. This is, if you loved Walter Simonson's run on Thor, this is Thor after Ragnarok happened. Okay, I say happened. Read the comic book, you'll understand what I mean. Something extra is said about Ragnarok in here. SFSX, this translates to safe sex. I did this review, but I did it on Pornhub. I cannot link there. I actually wound up getting flagged the last time that I, in last week's book, I actually got a flag for a link, for putting a link in my description. For just, you're just gonna have to go to Pornhub and look up Professor Bill or Comic Book University and find all of my reviews and whatnot. Subscribe so that, you know, when the stuff comes up, I think it should pop up for you and all that stuff. But yeah, you'll see all the reviews that I do on Pornhub. There's also issue number 42, I believe, of Vamp Blade. Yes, issue number 42. This might be the last issue that I review because it looks like it's breaking into a new story arc that's actually going to be good. This is the first issue. It's kind of a jumping on point, but I've just been waiting so long for the book to get good. I might decide to check out the next issue. Okay, let's talk about Faithless, issue number 6 of 6, or is it? Go check out that review on Pornhub also. I also open up the super highly erotica cover, probably the most erotic of the erotica covers, of all 6. Yeah, hair on the back. Anyway, so yeah, I open this up and you get to see the cover on Pornhub. I open up the book, you get to see all the or some of the nudity that's inside the book. It's Azzarello and Lovelet, and it's really good. Let's talk about Bloodshot issue number 1. This is the best Bloodshot book I've ever read. It's not, I haven't read the original series. I wasn't there in the early 90s for Bloodshot's first appearance, but I did check out a whole, and I've done some reviews on them also, but I have done some other reviews and read some other books of Bloodshot before. Couldn't get into them because it was never a jumping on point. Huge problem that Valiant had for a long time. Well, Valiant has officially fixed the hell out of that. This is an amazing jumping on point, and it will not make Bloodshot like longtime Bloodshot fans upset because it's not slow at all. This is an amazing book, and Bloodshot went into my pull list because of this. That's for damn sure. While we're on the Variant, let's talk about now some of the books that not Variant cover. While we're talking about Valiant, while we're talking about Valiant comic books, let's talk about the books that I didn't do individual reviews for. And one of them is Mirage, issue number 2. This is by Magdalene Visaggio. It's basically, the book goes to about there, and then there's a whole bunch of extra stuff in the back. So you get all these pages of extra stuff that, what do you call it? Other people's, you got a preview of issue 3 of the book, and you get a whole bunch of other stuff back here. You get Roku issue number 1, which is another book that's coming out. So you get a whole bunch of previews in here. Rye, this new one's coming out. Anyway, it's basically just Dr. Mirage. She's not dead. She's still flesh and blood, but she went into the land of the dead with a new friend that she's made so that she can, so she can try and rescue her husband. It's a good concept. I'm really kind of bored with the way, like, for issue number 1 was amazing. Issue 2 fell off, to me at least. If you're still enjoying it, that's awesome. I got the pre-order edition, which is cool. But it's still a good book, and if you love the character, if you even like the character, you're good. For me, issue 1 wasn't enough to make me enjoy this issue, so I don't know if I'll be there for issue 3. Valiant does send me this stuff by PDF for free anyway, to preview. So about a week before it comes out, I'll see it. If I have time, I will try and read that issue in advance. But if I don't like it, I probably just won't even bother doing a review for it. I don't know. We'll see. Issue number 1 of Ether, Matt Kint and Dave Rubin. Not the Dave Rubin from the fake guy. The guy does all that fake stuff, whatever. Anyway, yeah. David Rubin. He separates his name. So, what do you call it? Anyway, yeah, there's this stuff. This was pretty good. Whenever I don't like a comic book that I don't know anything about, and I don't really know the writer and the artist and all that stuff, I'll usually take a look online and take a quick look at some of the reviews online. Specifically, crying out loud, I know the name of the thing. Anyway, comic book something. Anyway, it gives you a whole bunch of comic book roundup. There we go. It gives you a preview of a whole bunch of other people's written reviews for a comic book. So I can just get a quick blurb from a whole bunch of things. And AIPT, the Adventures in Poor Taste, they gave it a 7. Everybody else gave it a 9 or a 10. So this is clearly a me thing. This is, a lot of people like this from Dark Horse. A lot of reviewers at least, love this book. If the lowest review that I've seen for it is a 7, that's pretty good. They're saying that these are master craftsmen working together. I don't know for the first time or not, but anyway. So that's that's cool. But this seems to maybe continue from something else. The disappearance of Violet Bell. I don't know who Violet Bell is. Well, I didn't know before I was reading this. So it is what it is. If you'd have to go and check the book out for yourself. For me, it didn't work. The art didn't work for me with the story, all that good stuff. Doesn't mean it was bad, just means that I didn't get it. Here's a book that was great. I had to get the variant edition for it. New Mutants. There's a one-shot, and what happens here? Chris Claremont is on this book. Who else is on this book? Oh, Bill Sienkiewicz. So they both do this book, and it's a beautiful book. I mean, like, this is your typical Bill Sienkiewicz work. It's cerebral, and it keeps you thinking, you know what I'm saying? And it really does. The art really does help the story in a lot. The word no is repeated about 40,000 times in the book. It's a really great story. The X-Mansion is destroyed, and of course, the New Mutants are like, oh crap, what are we going to tell the professor? And my favorite, Danny Moonstar, she's just like, come on, the X-Men do this every single week. Come on. I think the professor will be okay. That was a great moment. One problem I noticed with the book is that Hela, she has the techno-organic virus in here, which is like, oh wow, that's interesting. But Hela, she she says that Danny Moonstar works for her. I know that's something that Claremont has done, but it's been established in the Marvel Universe for a long time that it's actually Odin who has picked the Valkyrie. So, like, literally the only problem I had with this entire book. It's a really good story. Magic gets to shine. Her other self gets to shine. Magma is in the book, which is great. Danny Moonstar, it's almost like the entire book revolves around her, but in reality, it really revolves around what's her name? Magic's dark side. But it's surprising how much they were able to fit in Cypher and Warlock in the book also. Sunspot, unfortunately, doesn't get much in this book, which is really sad. And Rain also, she doesn't get a whole lot. But for the most part, like, it's a solid book. It's a really good book. And I'm totally cool with Claremont and Sienkiewicz doing, like, specifically those two returning to more one-shots for the New Mutants storyline. I'm so down for that. Something I wasn't down for, Captain America, issue number 14. I couldn't remember if I said I wasn't going to read this book or not anymore, so I decided at the very least to not make a review for it. However bad that previous issue was, this one had to have been worse. I've come to the realization at this point that, what the heck is his name? Ta-Nehisi Coates. Quite literally, he has just simply made this book a slapping ground. Now, mind you, I've never seen this in his book before. I've never seen this in Captain America before. There are a bunch of people who like to, they talk about, I always see it all the time. You always see these guys, the trolls, you know, the most popular guys in Comicsgate, and all the little trolley types, you know, from the far right wing. The far left wing has their own problems, but these guys, they're always like, you know, oh, you can't take it, you can't take it, you can't take it, but everything is an insult to them. Everything's a slight. Oh, they're attacking Christmas, a war on Christmas, and like, you bunch of pussies. So, like, at the end of the day, I have never seen Ta-Nehisi Coates write like that as he's done in this issue. In this issue, like, it feels like he's just attacking everybody. There's a great moment in here where he talks about how AIM is just a bunch of feckless nerds, basically, who were never good with girls. They could never score, as Beavis and Butthead would always say. So they wound up becoming, you know, these guys. And that's cute and all that stuff, but I feel that he was really off the mark because the people I think he's really trying to attack, he's trying to make fun of incels and things like that. No, when you're really smart and you're good enough to be hired by AIM, you're probably getting girls when you're older. You know what I'm saying? But so I think that he was really attacking the wrong people. I think that the Watchdogs were the best people to try to attack in that regards. And the Watchdogs were kind of in this too. By the end of the day, like, he goes and he makes a comment about preppers. I'm not going to take insult to it because I do consider myself something of a prepper. A good prepper would never come out and say, yeah, definitely I'm a prepper, because it defies what being a prepper is. But I do know how to prepare for the future. You know what I'm saying? I do keep extra food just in case there's ever a blackout or a grid down situation. And even when I was busy AF, I'm trying to be nice here, in Saudi Arabia, I was away for 2 years already. And my family calls me from New Jersey when Hurricane Sandy came up. 2 weeks of grid down, and they're calling me every day from their cell phone. Like, you know, I don't know where to charge my cell phone. I'm like, Mom, I want you to go out and I want you to drive out of town, far out of town, spend the day, okay? Go far out of town and find yourself one of those battery chargers that you can get at a place like Walmart, okay? Charge your phone at the Walmart, charge the battery charger at the Walmart, get the ones that you can actually charge up in your car also, the adapter, right? And this way you've always got your cell phone. Okay, but we don't have water that's potable. They said the water's non-potable. That means you can't drink it, right? Yes, it means you can't drink it. It's actually poison if you drink the water. Don't drink that water. There's nothing you can do to that water. Instead, what I want you to do is, and I'm, you know, telling her how to go out and get other water, not just from a store, because even the stores that are a little bit farther away are going to be busy. So instead, get more water than that. Hey, let me help you find such and such. Food, the kind of foods that can last for a long time. Ways to cook food, even though the electricity's not on. So it's cute. Like, Ta-Nehisi Coates is a genius, but even geniuses don't know everything. I know that. I don't know if I'm as smart as Coates. Probably not. But at the end of the day, if you're smart enough to understand that you don't know everything, then you're smart enough. And Coates making a joke about preppers is cute. I don't think he actually knows what a prepper is. We're the people who are prepared because when the grid goes down, and the grid goes down all the time, it doesn't have to be freaking nuclear war. Anyway, yeah, so I just found that book as literally like so many little parts in there were just him taking little pop shots at people. And that's cute, but that's not really what you're supposed to be using a book for. Not even a Captain America book. You know what I'm saying? I can see how that could be enticing, you know what I'm saying, because Captain America is supposed to be the ideal person, but that just didn't make sense. And again, Captain America did like 2 moves in the entire book. It's all about having the female cast do stuff outside of here. And of course, the only way that one of the females could be beaten in this book was by another female, Sin. Which is like, wow, because usually when people write Sin, she's just a screw-up who needs crossbones to get her out of trouble all the time. So I'm glad that she finally got strong. Still, it's when you're trying to pander to an audience that doesn't read comic books, you're really only giving the comic skaters more fuel to their fire. You're giving them an opportunity to say with actual authenticity, see, I was right. Well, they were never right, but in this particular case, they are. That sucks. Anyway, issue number 3 of Punisher Kill Crew. I've got a new respect for this book, okay? I didn't like the book before. I thought I wasn't going to bother reading it. I don't remember if I told you or not at the end of the previous review that Juggernaut is in this book. Juggernaut is heavily in this book. Juggernaut kills people in this book. He splatters people. He's like charging right through a bunch of the... Let me try and see if I... Oh, right there. Juggernaut just straight charges through a bunch of these frost giants and splatters them. At one point, Juggernaut pukes because he sees something that even he finds abhorrent. He sees the Punisher torturing, like he goes Viet Cong level torturing of a frost giant. Cuts one of their heads off right at the mouth area. Like, it is violent as hell, but there's a level of humor in here, and it's not the Punisher making the jokes, which makes it excellent. Remember, Jerry Duggan, this is the guy who did Deadpool for how many years now? Like, an amazing run. The best. We were spoiled reading that version of Deadpool, right? Good luck to Scotty Young didn't do such a great job with it. Kelly Thompson is going to be on the book now. She's done Deadpool. I've said a couple times before, I would love to see her doing Deadpool. And I'm getting my wish now. We're going to see if she can actually handle Deadpool in a regular series. I think she can. We're going to see, though. She's going to be the ultimate decider as far as I'm concerned. But, yeah, what do you call it? For right now, Jerry Duggan, I can't look at this book as a badass Punisher book. I have to look at more as he does some badass stuff, but this is more of a comedy thing. Black Knight is supposed to appear in the next issue. I'm really looking forward to that. Genuinely looking forward to that. But Juggernaut just joined his crew. As a good guy, we get to see Juggernaut being a badass, so, you know, that's always a good thing. So all of a sudden, when I stopped doing the weekly review, or, you know, the individual reviews for the comic book, that's when all of a sudden I realized I actually do like the comic book, so go figure. Second from last book of the week, this is a really sad one. Issue number 47 of Double Dinosaur. This is the final issue. It says it here somewhere. Yeah, final issue. But my wish come true, soon to be an animated series. Been saying it, this will be an amazing animated series. This would be an amazing cartoon. So that's a great thing. That is genuinely a great thing. I'm so happy for Moon Girl. I do wish that they could have at least gone to issue 50. I mean, could that have hurt Marvel? Really? But anyway, this was still a beautiful book. You had her going up against Reed Richards and trying to prove that she's smarter than him and she doesn't have to try too hard. This is her book. So I really liked that. I genuinely liked that. I kind of want to do a solo review for this, but it's just too hard. It's too hard, man. It's too hard to keep doing that. So anyway, this was a really good book, though. I'm going to tell, since the book has ended, I'm going to tell you what my ending would have been. But Marvel would never accept it because it's Marvel. They got to keep on going with their series, you know, forever. I would have actually ended the book. I would have revealed that Moon Girl was actually a little girl who is smart, and she's gotten good grades. Is she the smartest ever? Probably not. But ever since she realized that she was a Kree and all that stuff, it's really just been her her half part dreams and part fan fiction and part maybe a story that her parents tell her when they're sitting at her hospital bed as she's dying from some disease. I'm about to start choking up now. But that's how I would have ended this book, to really drive it home how cute and amazing that she is. And of course, she'd have to have a little red, Godzilla type, a devil dinosaur stuffed animal with her. Like, oh man, that's what I would have done. But of course, Marvel would never accept something like that. It's like, no, we've got to continue the story. We've got to sell more books, and we can't do that if we're killing a character. Yeah, but are we writing great comic books, or are we just going to continue writing comic books? So that's just me. The final book that I want to do is a Jodie Hauser book. She keeps on surprising me with how good a writer she is. This is the Wolverine Annual. This is an not acts of vengeance, acts of evil. And he's got to fight against Morgan Le Fay. And you're thinking to yourself, why the hell would he fight Morgan Le Fay? This is probably the best of the annuals this year, because Acts of Evil, there's a great reason for him to be fighting Morgan Le Fay. The whole entire story, this is a great story. And even when the book, seems to end, and it ends on a note where it's like Wolverine's trying to apologize to somebody and you realize it's not exactly deserved. Wow, man. This was an in-depth story. This was a fantastic story. If you want a good one-shot of Wolverine where he is a badass, and you also get to see him in the past and fighting against a creature like Morgan Le Fay, this is a really good story. Really good one, man. Like I said, Hauser continues to impress me with everything that she does. The art was really good on this. I'm not opening the book up again to see who did it, but like Borges and Menez and Merva, whatever that is. So that's it for this week, guys. Out. Make sure, I don't usually do this stuff, but spread the word. Spread the word about it. This is all the stuff I do. If you could share this on a page or something like that, I would genuinely appreciate it. And that's about it. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.